What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake's massive install size on the PlayStation 4. And I'll be completely honest, for all of you base PlayStation 4 owners out there, and even launch model PlayStation 4 owners out there, your PS4 might not survive Final Fantasy VII Remake. It might blow up on spot as soon as you try to play this game, because they're looking for 100 gigabytes of file space in order to get this thing going. And you have to download all of that, or you have to install all of that to your hard drive on your PlayStation 4. Now, if you remember, a lot of the base PlayStation 4s obviously have the 500 gigabytes on there, which isn't really 500 gigabytes. You get like 300 something or something like that. So you're gonna probably have to delete a number of games if you're still rolling with that base PlayStation 4 and you haven't upgraded with some external memory just yet. Now, that's the good thing for those who are looking to play this game and not looking to erase or delete all their other games on their hard drive. You can upgrade the memory just by plugging in certain USB hard drives. So you might want to look into that before picking up Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PlayStation 4. Now, if you have a PS4 Pro, obviously things probably going to run a little bit smoother with this graphics. It's going to be enhanced for the PlayStation 4. There is an exclusivity deal with PlayStation, so it's not going to come to the Xbox or the PC after quite some time, maybe like a year. I'm not really sure. They haven't really outlined exactly how long it's going to be, or maybe they did. I just didn't catch it. But either way, it's going to be on PlayStation first, and if you have a PS4 Pro, you're probably going to get the best experience. But 100 gigabytes of file size. This is easily one of the largest games ever to be made out there for the PlayStation 4. We had games like Red Dead Redemption 2, which took up quite a bit as well. There's been some other games that have gotten up there. Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, for example, that's definitely up there in file size, but this one takes the cake. But what makes this one a little bit worse than some of those other games is that those were actually the complete experience. And what I mean by that was that everything was done within that game. Red Dead Redemption 2 and also Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, all of that was complete. This is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. There are more parts to this game. By the time that we're done getting all of these, this could be 300 gigabytes plus. We don't know how many episodes that they're planning. We don't know exactly what they're going to be doing, maybe with DLC. There are so many different things that are not answered with this, and I think it's going to be kind of scary for those who are trying to get all of the different ones, because I don't know how long this game's gonna be. They said 60 hours full of content, but that seems like it's not gonna go too deep into the story from what we've seen so far here. So I am a little concerned with how much this game is gonna end up being, and then also how they're going to try to, okay, we pay $60, $60 each time, and then once, like, let's say 5 or 6 months passes by and they're all out, oh, here's the complete edition of the game for a decent price. I feel like that's what they're gonna do. They're totally gonna do that. I'm on to you, Square Enix, but I'm such a big fan of Final Fantasy and such a big fan of Final Fantasy VII that I'm willing to do that and play through the games just because I want to play and stream them and have fun. But yes, it's going to be 100 gigabytes on this download, and it's going to be 2 full Blu-rays as well. So like I said, get your hard drives ready. If you need some extra space, make sure you do so. This game isn't coming out too far from now. It's coming out on April 10th. So Square Enix has a packed lineup for April, because you do have Final Fantasy VII Remake and then also Trials of Mana that's going to be coming out on the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch, which probably isn't going to be 100 gigabytes. I would guess that it's going to be well more than like 50% below that, even more than that. I doubt this game crosses the 20 to 25 gigabyte mark, but obviously the graphics are nowhere near the level of Final Fantasy VII Remakes. But it just seems like maybe compression wasn't a thing here. I'm not really sure what's going on. I get it, it's a big game with a lot of content and the resolution and the textures and all that, but I mean, the PC version in 4K or something like that, is that going to literally take over your whole PC? Is it going to be like, hey, you install Final Fantasy VII Remake and it's literally your hard drive, it's literally everything on there with the textures and all that? Because it seems like this is such a huge number for PlayStation 4, and PS4 owners necessarily aren't so much used to this, right? I mean, we've seen it before, and yes, Games like Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto take up a lot of space. But I mean, stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn is like 40 gigabytes or something like that, or is definitely way lower. And that's a huge open world, really nice looking game with the upscale 4K or checkerboard or whatever the case is. So I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, man, 100 gigabytes, this is nuts. 2 full Blu-rays. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy when it comes down to it, but this is kind of the way that games are going. Games are getting this large. It's about resolution and textures and uncompressed audio and all of this stuff. And I'll be honest, this goes over my self-imposed limit of not doing 100 gigabytes, but I've already promised you guys that I was going to be streaming the game and covering the game, and I want to cover the game, so I really can't do anything about it. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to play it, I'm going to have fun. I think it's going to be a very good game. But man, some compression would have been nice. Like, even if they took the time to say, you know what, maybe we can't get this to like a decent amount of like 60 gigabytes or so. But maybe if they just said, hey, let's just try to get it under 100. Maybe they were thinking, you know, let's get it at like 97. Or how about 94 gigabytes? That sounds a lot better in my opinion than 100. Although people would just probably round up. But I would round down to 90 gigabytes. So, I mean, it would just be cool if they just got it down just maybe a bit more. To see the triple digits on there is a bit daunting for many people, but there are ways to upgrade the memory, so that's okay. But man, 100 gigabytes, 2 full Blu-rays, 60 hours apparently of content on there. It looks really beautiful. Obviously, this is one of the best looking PlayStation 4 games, easily one of the best looking PlayStation 4 games. And I'll be honest here, there's probably going to be a lot of PS5 games that come out that aren't going to look as good as Final Fantasy VII Remake, because this game has been in development for 17 years. Okay, not really 17 years, but you guys know here I'm exaggerating, have a little bit of fun here. It's been in development for a very long time here. They've switched engines. That was on the Luminous engine, then they switched over to Unreal Engine 4 because they were having trouble with their own in-house engine. I mean, this game has just been a massive undertaking with so many people working on it and so much time, attention, and detail put into the graphics of the game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of PS5 games at launch, at least, that look as good as Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's going to be that impressive of a game. I mean, obviously, you're going to have games that have the fidelity and all that, maybe faster frame rates and all that good stuff that look almost as good, but I think it's going to take just a little bit of time to get other third-party games that are going to look as good as Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PlayStation 4, especially if you're playing on a PS4 Pro, and I think that's the thing that everybody wants to see. What are the PS4 Pro enhancements with this 100 gigabyte download compared to the base PS4? How does the base PS4 sound? Is it going to sound like a Shinra rocket is taking off into outer space? Okay, when you boot up this game, it seems like this is going to be one of those games where it's going to heat your whole room that you're in. And if you're in a small room, get your air conditioners ready and get your power bill ready for it to be high, because it seems like one of those Steam games, right? And when I mean Steam, not as in PC, but Steam as in you're going to feel the steam and the heat coming from your PlayStation 4 as it struggles and holds on to its dear life to read this game and play it at an acceptable frame rate and resolution and everything, as it's just working its hardest, pushing the PlayStation 4 to its limits. So I'm excited to see what's going on here. Now, I have a base PlayStation 4 and I have a PS4 Pro, so I can do some comparisons. I can look at it after I do some cleaning on my base PS4 so I can actually fit the game on there. So I'm interested in seeing how it looks compared with the base PS4 and the PS4 Pro. I'm thinking there's going to be some nice enhancements to it, and pretty much all the footage that's been captured has been on a PS4 Pro, or I guess a high-end PC that's kind of simulating what a PS4 Pro would be. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, I think it's going to be interesting just to see the differences and how things sound with it, because sometimes my PS4 Pro sounds pretty good. Things aren't really too bad, and my PS4 sounds pretty good, but then other times on certain games, man, it really feels like there is a jet taking off when it comes down to it. So we'll see what they do with that, and just kind of how people react to the file size, how people react to the gameplay. But I think overall, at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a blast. There's going to be so much stuff that they're going to be adding into this game in order to flesh out the story. I think that many people will feel that it's worth the wait, that it's worth the 100 gigabytes, that it's worth everything that they've been doing so far with it, because it is a monumental task to just even get this game out. I'm actually surprised on the type of work that they've done. I felt that this was going to be so far into the PlayStation 5's life at one point. I was like, man, it's probably going to be a cross-gen title at launch for the PS5 or something like that, before we knew about when the PS5 was coming and all of that. So at least they got it out before the PS5 officially launched, because I thought it might dip into that time period. So at least there's that. So What are you guys' thoughts on this 100 gigabyte file size for Final Fantasy VII Remake? The first part, by the way, there's more parts coming, and also 2 full Blu-rays, and the graphics and what they're doing with this. Are you guys planning on picking this one up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the link in the description below. We've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Keep up to date with all the latest gaming news. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.